Hello and welcome to another episode of Trucker Money. This is number 71. It's been a while. I'm glad to be back doing this and give some updates here. What's happening? First of all, if you've not joined me for this before, I, every Friday I like to get together and do a non-trucking video, talk about investing, personal finance. It's one of my passions, one of my hobbies, and takes your mind off of trucking for a little while. Not giving financial advice, sharing my journey, how I got here, what I'm doing to build a life outside of trucking. So, normally we would start talking about what side income I made for the week. It's been so long since I did one of these. I just looked back, it was February 16th. So, we'll just talk in some generalities here before we get to a couple things. This episode I'm going to talk about a cycle I see repeating itself, and then I'm going to share a little bit about how did I make my money. So, let's first start with we do have some residential real estate rental properties. Been collecting rent on those. Had an episode 2 weeks ago, though. I have to do some repairs on that. That's going to cost me a little bit of money. Had a storm come through and knock out some windows. So I'm over there on a ladder, taking storm windows off, getting new glass put in them. And this weekend I'll be back over there putting these windows back in. So just a reminder of what a stark contrast different investments can be. Some are very hands-on, which a lot of times I don't mind, and others like the dividend income portfolio here that we also talk about is very hands off. I never have to pick up a drill. I never have to replace a window or fix a toilet or go fix a sink. So the diversification is nice. I'm not all in on rental properties where I'm working on them every single weekend, but yet at the same time, there's some stability there, some price appreciation, and it recently got paid off, so that's just kind of extra money here. So just pointing out the stark contrast and some of the benefits of being diversified there. So then let's talk about the dividend income portfolio here. It's like I said, it's been since February 16th since I did one of these, so we're just going to say every position has paid a dividend since then. I'm not going to go through the list. It'd take a little while, but just some highlights. Just got a dividend increase from General Mills. Small, but we'll take it. SCHD. So I've been building a position in SCHD. It's an ETF. It's the Schwab U.S. Dividend Equity Fund. Has a very low expense ratio. They have stringent parameters for being part of it. They reorganize every year. They have to restructure the fund every year, which means they have to kick some out, bring some new ones in. When they did this year, people were particularly critical of some of the companies they were kicking out, saying, why this? Well, they saw some hard times coming, so they went and put an emphasis on dividend safety for this year, and it's paid off because they just announced their largest dividend payout ever for second quarter. It's going to be paid out, I believe, in July. So pretty substantial increase. Way to go, SCHD. The Generational Wealth Fund, where I'm setting money aside for future generations with a 50 to 100 year time horizon, money I'll never touch, it'll be for my heirs, is 100% invested in SCHD, as well as I'm putting some of my IRA money in there. I'm really satisfied with this ETF at this point, so I'm excited about that. We did get a dividend cut from 3M, which we knew it was coming. I'm not putting any new money in that. These lawsuits, seem to hold merit, so we'll see where that goes. Seems like they did some bad things here with these forever chemicals. Not too happy about that, and I'll be doing some reconsidering on that, going forward. What are some of my favorite things I'm putting additional money in right now? Well, we already talked about SCHD. I'm seeing General Mills as a bit of a bargain right now, and trying to build more of Bristol Myers, BMY. So, in addition to other things, but those are where I'm seeing some opportunity for myself and my portfolio right now. So back, if you remember last episode, we talked about a flash crash in ADM. I put some money in. This was back in February, and they were down 25% in one day. Just an update on that. Since that point, with the new money we put in, it's up 17%. So that was a pretty good return. I mean, if I cashed that out now, It'd be a secured 17% return in about 5 months. So, well, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it because that's a long-term hold for me. So I'm pretty happy about that. Now, about the cycle I see repeating. Read a lot of books on building wealth. Listen to a lot of material, audiobooks, interviews about the commonalities between people that build substantial wealth and those that don't. And we all know some of the things, investing, being consistent, and blah, blah, blah. Well, one of the biggest things is one thing they don't do. And I'm talking about FOMO, fear of missing out. Okay. People that build significant wealth don't get caught up in a fear of missing out on something. So when something is hot, when there's the next hot stock or hot trend or boom and whatever, they don't worry about missing out. They may participate, but they don't take radical steps to ensure that they can be a part of it. For instance, back in what was it? Earlier in the 2000s when we had the real estate boom and you had people doing no-doc mortgages, buying real estate sight unseen so they could flip it, right? People getting into this, and then you had it with Bitcoin where when Bitcoin was shooting through the roof, people would mortgage their home, right, to get in on Bitcoin, not knowing anything about it, and then losing everything. Trucking was a FOMO thing. How many people did you see pile into trucking? They had to own a truck because trucking was hot and it was a way to make a whole bunch of money. What's happening to them, right? So, not saying any of these things were bad investments. I'm not judging on that. I'm just talking about the fear of missing out. So, you rarely hear the stories of what comes after that, right? Except for the people in trucking that got in on their FOMO, couldn't miss it, and now they're dying a slow death, right? The people that mortgaged their home to buy Bitcoin. And then what happened? Bitcoin pulled back significantly and they lost everything. So we're living this cycle again. And what I'm talking about is NVIDIA and some others like it. And that is not a judgment on NVIDIA as a stock or an investment. NVIDIA is a good stock. But I've been seeing some crazy things. People doing stupid things, borrowing money, buying it on margin, going all in, everything they have on NVIDIA because it's going to the moon. Well, maybe. But I'll tell you what you're not going to hear is the stories of the people that did all these risky measures. And then if we get a pullback in NVIDIA or whatever, and they get margin called or suddenly their net asset value tanks, all the pain that they're going to experience, the people that'll lose their house, right? And it's not just NVIDIA. I'm just pointing them out for an example, which they happen to be a great company, by the way. But people that got caught up in these things that they have to take part of, they can't miss out on, and never think about the other side of it or to what could happen, right? So that's one thing that people that build significant wealth avoid. You don't have to do that. I don't do that. I've avoided it mostly my whole life, sometimes through dumb luck, but I'll take it, right? So just think that through. If you're thinking about getting caught up in the craze, think about, can I afford to lose this amount of money? Is this all I have? Is it worth it? Or am I better off to just stick to the plan, put it in an ETF, or pay off some debt or whatever until I'm more secure in my situation where it wouldn't hurt so bad if I lost this money? So I just want to talk about that. Now I want to talk about where did I make my money? It's nobody's business what kind of money I have or whatever, but people presume things or whatever. But it's worth pointing out that all my money came from trucking. I grew up on a dairy farm, milking cows. I didn't own the place. I didn't make money doing that. That was what I did. After that, worked in a couple factories, and I got into trucking. But trucking has been good to me. Everything I have is from trucking. Has it always been wildly profitable? No. But right now, people are screaming. I get it. Trucking's tough. But you got to understand, everything goes through cycles. Anything you do in life goes through cycles. It's It's what you make of it. It's what you do with it. So all these years, I've been through ups, downs. 2008 was very tough, right? Made it through that. But one thing I did continue to do was make the most of the money that I made. Continued to consistently save and invest over time, even when it hurt like hell to do it. When I didn't have the money, I did it. When things were tough, I did it. When I was broke down, I did it. When I was sick, I did it. Everything that we went through, just continue to save and invest conservatively over time. And that's how you get there. It's even less important the investment that you use than it is just that you consistently stick with it. Time is the number one factor. So anybody can get here. Anybody can do this. And to say that trucking sucks, yeah, it does. But I can't bitch about it because it gave me, I earned a great life through trucking, through all the ups and downs. It's just a matter of being in there through the down times so you can experience the up times. And that's going to be anything in life. So for me to sit here and complain about trucking would be disingenuous. I mean, it's given me, the ability to support my family, a nice home, property, the ability to present some job opportunities to some other deserving people, the ability to be charitable, and to put away money for the future. So don't lose perspective of that. You can get that all through trucking. It's a pretty decent living for somebody who is not college educated, or even if you are, for somebody who has little to no other skills. It can be a pretty good living. It's just easy to lose sight of that through tough times. But it's all about you and what you're made of. Can you stick it through? Can you be resilient? Just stick to the plan. I'm a very conservative investor, but all I did was just stick with it through time and continue to stick with the plan that I came up with. So that's how you get there. I mean, you might get lucky. You might put everything in NVIDIA. It might go to the moon. We'll end it here for this week. We'll try to be back more regularly. Everybody take care. Wish you the best, and we'll see you next time.